I was taking a trip on a plane the other day, still wishing that I could get out. When the man next to me saw the book in my hand and asked me what it was about. So I settled back in my seat, a bestseller, I said, a history, a mystery, and one. Then I opened up the book and began to read from Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John.
He was born of a virgin one holy night in the little town of Bethlehem. Angels gathered round him underneath the stars, singing praises to the great I am. He walked on the water, healed the lame, and made the blind to see again. And for the first time here on earth, we learned that God can be a friend. And though he never ever did a single thing wrong, the angry crowd chose him. And then he walked down the road and died on the cross, and that was the end
of the beginning.
That's not a new book, that's the Bible, he said. I've heard it all before. I tried religion, shame and guilt, and I don't need it anymore. It's superstition made of tales, just to help the weak survive. Let me read it again, I said, but listen closely, this is gonna change your life.
He was born of a virgin one holy night in the little town of Bethlehem. Angels gathered round him underneath the stars, singing praises to the great I am. He walked on the water, healed the lame, and made the blind to see again. And for the first time here on earth, we learned that God could be a friend. And though he never ever did a single thing wrong, the angry crowd chose him. And then he walked down the road and died on the cross, and that was the end of the beginning.
The end of the beginning, he said with a smile. What more could there be? He's dead.
You said they hung him, put nails in his hands and a crown of thorns on his head.
I said I'll read it again, but this time there's more, and I believe that this is true.
His death wasn't the end, but the beginning of life that's completed me and you. Don't you know he did all this for you?
He was born of a virgin one holy night in the little town of Bethlehem. Angels gathered round him underneath the stars, singing praises to the great I am. He walked on the water, healed the lame, and made the blind to see again. And for the first time here on earth, we learned that God can be a friend. And though he never ever did a single thing wrong, the angry crowd chose him. And then he walked and he died.
3 days later, 3 days later, 3 days later, he rose. He was born of a virgin one holy night in the little town of Bethlehem. He walked on the water, died on the cross. He is the great I am. Oh, 3 days later, he rose. The Son of God, he's alive. 3 days later, my Jesus, he's alive. He rose.
As humans, we're pretty small thinkers. We tend to think about things that pertain directly to us. Our schoolwork, our jobs, our problems, and our lives. When it comes to us thinking about things that aren't so easy to comprehend, like eternal life or God, when you really start thinking about this creator, this being with his love and his mercy and his absolute power, we start to shy away from those thoughts because we don't fully understand them. We know he's there, and that's enough. And to an extent, that's okay. We can't understand every little thing God does, and we won't understand why heaven's going to be such a perfect place. It's just beyond us. Our minds won't comprehend it. But if we stop thinking about this God who loves us with his mercy and his grace, we start losing our faith. It's okay if we don't fully understand God. We're not meant to. But when we start doubting how awesome he really is, that's when we start losing the admiration we should have for him. Way back in the day, there were monks, and they would actually scribe the scriptures. So imagine, you're there with your pen and your paper, and you're writing the entire Bible by hand. And these monks, they did these writings with the utmost care. Considering they'd be writing God's word, they'd always wash their hands before writing, and some even went as far as bathing and changing their clothes. But the part of this process that's the most amazing is whenever they were writing and they came to God's name, they would stop, put down their pen, pick up a different one, write God's name, switch pens, and continue writing. These monks respected and held God so high that even the pen they were using to write God's word with wasn't worthy enough to write his name with. Think of what we do with God's name. What we do with just the thought of God. I bet for most of us, we'd look pretty lame compared to those monks. But it doesn't have to be like that. What we need to start doing is begin using our lives to praise and worship this God who is still alive, who still is affecting our lives, who gives us so much and who's so worthy and who's ultimately matchless. There is nothing anyone could ever say or write that would ever be able to fully encompass how great our God is. Amen. There's nothing on this earth, in this universe, nothing that has nor ever will be able to even be compared to our God.